up, everybody? It's your girl Starfire coming back at y'all with another one. I actually am encouraged to do this video. I've been watching Involving Butterfly Tarot, I believe it is, and forgive me if I'm butchering it. I watched quite a few of you guys, but she was mentioning or talking about the 222 portal that's going to be coming up. And how it relates to the portal from last month, the 111 portal, and how the 111, the 222, and the 33 portals actually connect. I gave a little thought as to what I was experiencing around that 111 portal. And although I don't typically write things down, I do recall the two things that were shown to me during that month. And the one that actually stuck out to me the most was the image that I recalled after awakening from a dream. And it was basically shadow figures. One that I could only see like the arm, which was passing a baby off to what looked like a female because I could see like a ponytail. And somehow I just knew that the infant or the baby that was being passed off was me. So she mentioned during that video, when she mentioned the 3-3 portal, she emphasized reconnecting with your hidden or proper path, your true nature. And that brings me or made me think of my particular situation. And when I recalled the vision from that dream, it made me think about the blackout or the secrets that involved my birth, and what I call the secret or the hidden exchange of a child. And I wanted to speak just a little bit on it, because I'm realizing that there are more of us than we actually know who are affected in a similar manner. I've heard the story of some of the oracles who have similar stories where they were actually taken from their biological parents and given either to a grandparent or to a completely different or separate family. So I wanted to speak on that a little bit. I'm still waiting to know my truth. If the test results are correct, I am still part of my matriarchal lineage. It may not be who I was raised by. I'll say that. However, I feel that I still connect. And it made me think about my grandchildren, and how important they are to me with regards to their upbringing. And imagining what it would be like if they had my experience. And clearly, I would never want that for them, right? Ideally, I want them to be in a loving household. I want them to experience true unconditional love. I want them to have a proper upbringing. And I guess the message that I want to give to people who have actually gone through a similar thing is to just never give up. Never give up, right? You may be considered the outcast, the black sheep, and there may be a lot of instances where you have interest and no one seems to care or take notice or attribute anything positive for you to reach your goals, right? But don't allow that to deter you. For me, there's a lot that I didn't see. I can say that. There's a lot that I didn't see. And I'm now understanding why that is and what contributed to that. But whatever contributed to that, I'm thankful because Divine saw fit to save me, to show me favor. And any of you who have gone through such a challenging childhood, I want to encourage you to never give up. Even in you not knowing, even in you being unsure, when you reach a point where you know what your passions are, you know what you like, stand in that, right? Stand in that wholeheartedly, 10 toes down, not moving. Plant your roots just like a tree. Stand in that and be strong. And as long as you have a positive outlook, and as long as you keep going forward in love, that doesn't mean to be a pushover. That doesn't mean to be apprehensive in speaking up for yourself. That doesn't mean that you have to settle because society says that that's all that you can get. You stay determined and keep taking the small steps. See, I feel like the trick of the game is for you to always be confident in self, regardless as to what anyone else has to say or what the world may show you. And I use myself as an example. I now know that these people who came against me with regards to this inheritance did a whole lot. I don't like to use the term citizen because, as you know, I identify as an indigene, as the indigenous or the aborigine of the Americas. But to know that they were out committing crimes and then going back attempting to attach those crimes to me, to accuse me of these crimes, utilizing their connections within these systems, whether it be civil servants, as what you know as officers, judges, and all these different people, to falsify information within this system, all for the goals of either having me arrested, having me committed, or creating a scenario where something would transpire to cause me to lose my life. Knowing that I've never done anything wrong in my life. No record, no shit, right? Most you'll find is a damn speeding ticket. But this is what these malicious, wicked individuals set out to do, all for the sake of getting their hands on something that was left to me. And I want to encourage everybody to keep going. I hear oftentimes the oracles speak that individuals question, how did I do it? And the truth of the matter is, although you see that it's me, it wasn't me, right? All praises to the Most High. If it was not for the Divine Mother and Father, who knows where I would have been. These individuals attempted to manipulate energy and do rituals and all these different things to even sever my connection to my ancestors and to Divine. So much so that, I was in a fog. I was in a fog, right? Hence why they were curious as to why what they used to do didn't work anymore. But the truth of the matter is, it was all divine. And when I say that, I mean literally all divine. I was in a situation where I was displaced. I was homeless, no finances. My car is still at the tow yard to this day since March of 2023. I've had no callbacks for opportunities to contract so I can sustain myself. And the list goes on. You know, I've had issues with health and things of that nature. So I really I really chose to just do the only thing that I could do, and that was just to be still. Be still and know that I had an expectancy, that what was for me, no one can take. That if my fate was to be what everyone wanted, then I was willing to say, so be it. And I think that was the test that I was faced with, because I think that in order for me to have gotten to this point, I needed to prove my faith in divine, right? It's one thing to talk a thing, right? All them people who told that book and swear that they can quote some scriptures. It's one thing to really read on it and talk about it, and to actually live it, especially when you have to live it at a time when you're down to nothing. I apologize about the traffic. But yeah, it's a completely different ball game when you have to stand in that faith when you have absolutely nothing. When you know that you've kind of, not so much secluded, because I wasn't secluded. I consciously chose to surround myself with the people that I cared for, that I loved, not realizing that almost ended in a fatality for myself, right? But in that, even being in the midst of the enemy, even being in the midst of the valley of the shadow of death, I did the only thing I knew to do, and that was to be still and to pray, right? And it was challenging because, I was embarking on being accustomed to tending to myself in a certain manner, and without finances, that's been challenging, right? I had no choice but to be still. It was in that stillness that I found peace. And it's not, I really can't explain it. It was a peace that I wasn't familiar with, I can say. And it was a peace that I know that only divine could provide. And also during that time, I was faced with a continual lesson, one that I had been learning for some years prior, pertaining to patience. And that lesson of patience still reigns true today, because in order for you to receive what divine has for you, you have to accept and acknowledge that that is going to come in divine timing. And in order for you to get to divine timing, you have to have patience. So, patience and peace, and the knowing, not a belief, not a I guess, but the knowing that divine has you, and that the relationship and the communication that you have with divine is sufficient enough, strong enough for you to get through anything. And that's very important, because I recall a time when I used to gather on the Sabbath, and I had to admit that I felt the way, because my worship wasn't like everyone else's worship, right? I didn't understand why I couldn't remember scriptures, why I couldn't quote scriptures and things of that nature. But I also chalked that up to me realizing that whatever was going on with me was affecting my memory also. But I did feel away. However, when I embarked on taking it upon myself to read through that book on my own, as well as reading through the lexicon to get the transliterations of the words, and finding or gaining comprehension of my own, the way that I understood it, the way that I kind of took in the information, is kind of what put me on a different path. And that path led me to other things. So I want to encourage you guys, for those of you who have been removed from your biological parents, whether you're in a foster home, whether you're being raised by relatives, whatever your situation may be, I want to encourage you to stay strong. If you have not done so already, establish your connection with divine. Know that it's okay to be still. And in your stillness, be sure to practice patience. Always try to recenter yourself and find your peace. Right? And don't be apprehensive or fearful of being to yourself, because it's during that alone time that you tend to hear divine and your ancestors and your spirit team much clearer, right? But that's it. That's my 222 portal message for you guys. It's your girl Starfire again. May y'all all stay safe, stay strong, and be encouraged. And know that when you rock with divine, you always got an expectancy. Always. I'll holler at you guys at the next one.